we have um, some news on the front that happened this week. Let's see if I can
I have
slide
no
this over.
doubt most of you.
No, I think I'd be able to cue that stuff up a little bit easier. There you go. It's from Reload. Senate parliamentarian strips silencer, short-barreled shotgun deregulations from the budget bill. Um, like the right to have, save your hearing. And SBR. You know why SBRs got banned? You know that was the sacrificial cow, um, because they failed to get uh, some of the other stuff banned. So they threw that in with the 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 NFA, so that uh, they can still call it a win. And all a short barrel rifle does is make sure that it decreases accuracy at a long range, making it possible that you could use it in for home defense. Like, am I going to carry a 16-inch barrel gun? Like, this literally, like, uh, like a full rifle to stop somebody from coming into my house and clean, and try to shoot me? No, I would carry the handgun. But if I had an SBR, I could do whatever. Of course, there's a lot of those people who voted for this stuff that would be that say that I'm wrong for wanting to be able to defend my house and defend my wife and defend my dogs and my animals and all of the other stuff. They say that that's wrong, and how could apparently I love my stuff more than somebody else's life. No, they want my stuff more than they value their life. That's how that should be read. But look, said Democrats have said we have been successfully removing parts of this bill that hurt families, workers, but the process is not over. Democrats are continuing to make cases against every provision in this bill. Basically, they're trying to dismantle the bill piece by piece to kill the whole thing. They did that with the Medicaid. I don't care about the Medicaid cuts and whatnot. Like, is that that that's the thing. Um, but they are pushing to uh, remove everything, like literally neuter the bill before it gets to the thing, so it's you know so it's not. It's basically they're trying to neuter the thing, take out all the stuff, force reconciliation, but the reconciliation won't happen with those items still in the bill. So it's forcing the other house to have to get something that will work in the Senate, and which is stripping and killing the bill. But they're trying to do a workaround. Let's talk about before we go into depth on that. Let's hear somebody else's um, thoughts on that whole matter. If I can get this ready and queued up. Here we go.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix this bad boy together. Guys, we have another midnight update. The time of filming of this video is around 2 a.m. Eastern Time.
Go follow this page if you haven't already. Just throwing that out there.
This has been a hell of a grind, and I want to thank each of you for being here with me on this because we have an update around the taxes on the NFA and the HPA and the Short Act. Now they're going to push to get it removed in a Bird Bath 2.0. Not the actual registration, not the actual NFA items, but the actual tax. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing. It'll all be linked in the description box below. And guys, please, if you want to keep on pushing this forward, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on, because we are making a big difference, and it's all because of you guys. All right, let's get right into this. I'm going to jump over to my X profile. And guys, just to give you an idea of what you're helping accomplish on X, we just passed 20,000 followers. Yesterday alone on X, while we were covering all of this, we actually got 3 times the impressions on X while we were covering this versus YouTube at the exact same time.
Hey, go give him a follow.
You guys are allowing us to expand into different markets and expand our message and permeate it deeper, and thank you for that. Make sure you follow me at BradenLOA to continue to send out that message. But let me get into this, guys.
Yes, go follow.
Because this is a scenario that I do not like. Now, 24 hours ago from the filming of this video, again, I'm filming this at 2 a.m. Eastern Time, we found out that the bird bath didn't work out for HPA and the Short Act. They aren't going to remove it anymore. So it basically failed. Then magically, the next morning, about 5 hours later, John Cornyn was ready for this to have a statement for the reload. And I'm just going to rehash this. This will sound familiar, but I'm getting to the new stuff in a second, including gun rights groups that seem to have coalesced around a combined effort. And they released it, and we're getting mixed reviews. I'm going to show you the whole thing. But this is what John Cornyn said. That's something gun rights activists have planned as a fallback of full delisting, which would not just eliminate the tax, but also the registration requirements on the devices was tossed out under the Byrd rule. So delisting is what we were talking about, right? Well, if we continue on down this road, I'm sorry, I'm getting notifications I got to fix on my computer. Okay, whatever. Get out of the way. Let's just continue. Senator John Cornyn said Republicans are already working on that plan, noting modifications are are routine. He said he is confident eliminating the NFA tax on silencers, short-barreled rifles, and shotguns, and any other weapon category will clear the Byrd rule. Quote, as you know, policy changes are violative of the Byrd rule. Zeroing out taxes is our plan B, Senator Cornyn told the Reload.
Yeah, if you want to check that out, it's right here. Where is it at? Zeroing taxes. The Republicans rewrite major bills, yada yada yada. Where did it go? As you know, policies zeroing taxes is Plan B. That should work.
It was launched at 7 a.m. the morning after it got killed at about 1 a.m. Eastern Time. So it seems like that was real on deck real fast. But when I continue here, we also covered this in our live stream today, or yesterday afternoon. Andrew Clyde, the NFA is a tax. We must seize this rare opportunity to restore our Second Amendment rights. I'm fighting to get this right. I simply said it wouldn't hurt to share a few more details, my guy. Well, turns out this evening we had a letter, sorry, I already had that one pulled up. We had a letter put out by a significant amount of large gun rights organizations around this very scenario. And again, I'm getting to where this all comes together, okay? So, this is from American Suppressor. I just happened to pull their account. It's on all the accounts that you see here. Together, we stand united on behalf of millions of law-abiding gun owners and calling on Congress to eliminate the NFA's tax on short-barreled firearms and suppressors and uphold our Second Amendment right to hearing protection. I'm going to read this really quickly. Again, you can see it on screen. It'll be linked in the description box below. The American Suppressor Association, Gun Owners of America, Firearms Policy Coalition, so that's FPC, Second Amendment Foundation, National Rifle Association, and National Association of Sporting Goods Wholesalers strongly disagree with the weaponized procedural maneuvering used by the unelected parliamentarian to block the removal of suppressors and short-barreled firearms from the NFA tax scheme. Well, we all feel that way. That's good. I'm down with that. That's kind of a no-brainer that we feel that way. It is good for affirmation, but let's continue. Unless the Senate chooses to overrule her egregious decision, or the majority leader removes the existing parliamentarian, which is well within their rights, immediate action must be taken to ensure law-abiding Americans are able to exercise their Second Amendment rights without the draconian NFA tax. Though not the full tax repeal it should have been, there is still an opportunity to use well-established precedent to lower the NFA's unconstitutional excise tax on suppressors and short-barrel firearms to $0. And just like that, John Cornyn who put forward the fact that, oh, we're just modifying this already and we're ready. We got a plan B. We're going to remove the taxes on it. The whole thing was a tax to begin with. And now, all these groups are now aligned with that very quickly. Let's continue. Our organizations stand united on behalf of millions of law-abiding gun owners and calling on Congress to immediately make this revision. This is a critical step in our fight against the unconstitutional NFA tax scheme and for the rights of all Americans. Now, that last piece right there, I'm going to address that last piece really quickly, and then I'll show you the actual text because it is in the bill now where taxes is removed. A lot of people are having a poor reaction to this because they feel in the comments, and you can look at this all over the internet, and some of you could probably feel that same way. They feel that it's a concession, right? Well, if you look at this last little piece, by the way, I feel like it's a concession as well. I do not love this. I'm not happy going in really strong and coming and begging for a weakness position.
Yeah, no, I mean, you go into the situation saying these need to be removed from the NFA to like, well, just remove the tax on it. Like, how does that function? Does that mean I can still go out and get them without paying the $200 tax stamp to have, say, a silencer? So I don't damage my hearing any more than what the military has already damaged my hearing. Is that what, is that, why am I paying more to be able to not increase the level of tinnitus that I have when there's items out there that make things at least a little safe. And honestly, I mean, it's not like they make them dead quiet. It doesn't make them go pew, pew, pew like you see in the movies. It just reduces the out of the danger zone for hearing damage. Technically, if you use if you want to spin it common sense wise, you're increasing the safety of a firearm by making sure that it has a silencer, by reducing the amount of volume that is created when you fire the weapon. Huh? Yes? No? Maybe?
That's just my own personal thing. The critical step in our fight against the unconstitutional NFA tax scheme and for the rights of all Americans. It is a critical step. If we don't have a tax collected, but you still have an infringement, you have a very serious constitutional problem. Because if you'll remember, in 1934, the Attorney General brought forth the confiscation or the arrest or the gun control through the power of taxation. That was the only way they could do it. Well, if that taxation doesn't exist anymore, but you still have the registries and you still have the infringements, you have a very serious problem. That's going to be worked out. And I bet you that's what they're talking about. They haven't not told me that, but I bet you that's what they're talking about. But right here, this is an account to a history. New reconciliation.
Yeah, Ruin, that's exactly what I'm seeing.
Attempt. Registry stays. Tax goes to $0. That's the part where I was telling you there's a problem. All NFA-related rules for items still in place. Acceptable. And again, you guys can tell me in the comments right down there. And follow me on X and let me know there too. But let me show you what GOA just put forward as their stance on it. Breaking. Senate GOP revised H.R. 1 to reduce the NFA making and transfer tax. So it's making and transfers. That is important. To $0 for suppressors and short-barreled firearms. After an NFA tax repeal, this is the next best win for gun owners unless the parliamentarian is overruled or fired. Now, again, you run into the same problem as that letter. If people feel that it's not a win and it would be a concession, that's probably where you're hearing a lot of the natural flack that's coming from the loss of the Byrd rule from an unelected parliamentarian, particularly when so many House reps and senators are saying fire her. That is a valid concern because there is a very serious argument for her being extremely partisan, and here's where I will come from on that. She went ham sandwich on everything, not just our stuff, everything.
No, yeah, literally, it says in that article that they're purposefully trying to let's show it again. They are purposely trying to go and remove every provision in the bill. Again, every provision in the bill.
And that level of partisanship, when a lot of the things are very clearly tax related.
And the only reason she has been, uh, she is a Democrat and she has been parliamentarian for Republican and Democrat, like because of her so-called, uh, like moderate stand. Like she is nonpartisan when it comes to what she's doing. But when you have a bill like this and you're literally trying to remove every provision of a bill that's backed by that is partisan as fuck.
Is argument for a very serious concern, maybe removal, maybe firing, or at least overruling. It's serious enough.
Yeah, but what's his name came out and said that he's not going to overrule the parliamentarian. What was it? Thorne. Thorne said he's not going to do that. So why is he Senate Majority Leader and he's not going to overrule something that is blatant politics?
Of a level and position to be concerned of that interest in the bill. Now, what they're doing here in this post is they're basically showing you where the taxes are cut to zero. Now, a lot of you will feel like this is a kissing your sister or a wet blanket, and then some still other of you will say, well, it's not what we wanted, but it is a win. Personally, in my own stance on this, I do not like that 24 hours ago we were in a position to have everything removed. And now we seem to be in a position where the Rhino John Cornyn had something ready and was willing, and now it's in the bill very shortly after that. And now the new standard is we're going to try to get the tax to zero. I don't love that positioning. And then, and specifically, it's all about the parliamentarian and how much she smoked, right? She destroyed all of it, not just our stuff, which factors into this equation. But when you're looking at this on the whole, are there arguments made in the future for a zero tax and the ramifications? Absolutely. Does it feel very poor right now? Yes, it does feel very poor right now. I will 100% agree with that. Let's continue. GOA will never stop fighting until the NFA is completely repealed. Keep calling for Queen Elizabeth McDonough, the unelected Senate parliamentarian, to be fired or overruled. And that's where this gets interesting, because there seems to be this dichotomy that happening amongst the gun owners and the gun...
Again. Every provision in the big beautiful bill. In other words, a betrayal of a bill. That's right there. For just in case you forgot.
The gun rights groups, where they still want the parliamentarian fired or removed, but they also are saying, but let's get the tax to zero on the suppressors. There's a very interesting coalition that's forming there. And
I mean, if I could see that, remove her, overrule her, do whatever, because she's playing politics now. So you got to play politics back. You can't have it one way and then the other. Just saying. But if she wants to play politics, then play politics back, overrule her, kick her, remove her, whatever. But if we're already heading in the direction of at least removing the thing, let's do that and make that as a step to removing the NFA, delisting. Okay, take what steps we can to keep moving forward instead of like burying ourselves and not having any progression.
Again, not every single gun rights group was on that letter, but let's jump into this real quick. This is NAGR's stance. The new bill draft language suggests that the fee associated with the NFA has been removed. However, NFA registration is still required. Your grassroots pressure is working, but we won't rest until the language is restored 100% pro-gun. You can pretty much read the tea leaves of where this is going, right? At the end of the day,
I understand that still needing to register and everything is a kick in the dick. We remove it to 0. That makes it more available to more people. As a step. Don't get lost in the quagmire and go backwards. Because it's like, hey, we're not going to, this gives us a leg up to, this gives us a leg into the situation of, hey, maybe we shouldn't, we are already not collecting money on this. We've already removed it from that. So the next step would be delisting it entirely. So it's all about steps. Don't shoot yourself in the foot by not taking what little bit, you win battles, you lose the war. I'm afraid you're going to end up shooting yourself in the foot and losing the war, and people are just going to be like, we tried to work with you, we tried to help you out, and now we're doing what we can, and you're not happy with it, so we're just going to stop working with you. You got to take any forward movement. Keep pushing. I'm not saying to just take it and go, thank you, sir, for giving me that little nugget. No, I'm talking about keeping moving forward. Do I agree with it? No, but you know what? Every little bit of ground gain is ground gained, and we need to look at it that way. It is a fight. It is we need to keep moving forward and win battles, even if they're not as full wins as we would like. We need to keep moving in that direction.
I'm going to keep you updated as much as I possibly can, but here's the stance. Or not stance, here's the state of play. You now have a reconciliation bill package that has been amended, and they're going to put it through the bird bath again, this time with the tax knocked down to 0, but still requiring the NFA registration, the fingerprinting, and all the paperwork and the tax stamp.
So if the tax stamp is 0, and it doesn't cost anything, but you need to get fingerprinted anyway to get in most cases, to get your permit. My state has gone constitutional carry, but if you want to take it out to reciprocal places, you need to get your permit, and that requires fingerprinting and the whole 9 yards. So I'm not understanding. Maybe it's me not understanding. Like I said, I still see that as a movement in a direction instead of standing still or even going backwards.
Effectively, that has to get through the Byrd rule. Then that has to get actually voted on and passed by the Senate. And then the bill has to go to the House and confirmed in the House, of which has very serious problems in the House. We're in a different scenario. It's going to be a very long weekend. Am I happy that we could get taxes removed to help people and lower barriers to their rights? Yes, I am happy about that.
Me too.
Am I unhappy about the scenario that we find ourselves in, where an unelected bureaucrat has basically decided that none of Trump's big, beautiful bill package can go through because she just doesn't like it? And then there's cover provided by John Thune, who's the Senate Majority Leader.
Thune, that's the thing.
No, I don't like that at all, because there is a very strong argument, and we made it for a month straight, that the NFA is a pure and simple tax. I've got mixed feels on it, I'll be honest with you, and I'm sure you guys do as well. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.
So, yeah, no, like, with what he said, and like I said, the other, like, they're literally positioned trying to take out everything and dismantle the whole bill in the Senate. But my question to you, if you're watching and whatever, like I said, this is my first stream. I'm not I am not savvy to, I'm going to make mistakes, granted. But listening to that, literally, they're dismantling everything. And it's by somebody who was appointed by a Republican Senate Majority Leader that is dismantling the thing. So, when do we push for Thune to be removed if he's not going to stand up for Republican bills? Like, he's going to literally let like I said, up to this point, she was repeatedly put into that position because she was supposedly nonpartisan. Now she's very partisan. Remove her. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Let me know if you think my idea or my stance of like let's take wins that we can and move it forward and still push for what we want um, on the next cycle and whatnot. Let me know if that's something that you disagree with or not um, in the chat. Let me see if my chat thing is. You know, I would like to. It's against Twitch TOS because I am streaming on Twitch, Kick, Rumble. Um, YouTube will be coming up soon. The web or the YouTube channel is up. We will be pulling our VODs out and whatnot and doing some stuff up there. However, for right now, like I said, I'm just beginning. Uh, I don't. Yeah, I can't stand. Like literally, we. Uh, yeah, it's not a. You keep talking about silencers, and it's not. It's a suppressor because they don't make the sound of the gun silent. It just makes it instead of 136, 140 some decibels or whatever, it drops it down to a hearing safe level. It's still loud. I mean, there are guns. I think what was the gun? The new one, the new round that came out. Uh, 8.6 or the yeah that is subsonic and is actually almost hearing friendly. The subsonic and almost hearing friendly right out the gate without a silencer. Yeah, the 8.6 blackout, I think. Gotta love Q. Yeah, so I mean, anywho, I'll be on the soapbox about how we need to. If people want to play politics, then you just play politics. I will keep uh, harping on that. If I don't, just move on. Uh, but instead of harping on moving on, let's see this from another perspective. Let's see if I can get this to switch over.
No, I think that what's going on right now is that people are going through really almost basically the footnotes. They're arguing over last minute language. There was a question about one matter where there was an argument about whether it should start January 1st or as soon as the bill passes.
Okay, there's argument over the. Oh, everything's fine. Everything's fine. There's just argument over language and yada. No, they're literally. Let's remove all of the stuff. It's not arguing over language. It's removing everything.
That's the kind of stuff that's being changed right now. And so in terms of the big message of the big beautiful bill, that we're making the president's first tax cuts permanent, and we're adding a whole bunch of beautiful new stuff like no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. We're securing the border.
I am for no tax on tips. I am for no tax on overtime. I am for no tax on SSI. I am for funding the border stuff. Uh, that stuff that's being cried about and wanting to be removed too.
Building the Golden Dome, all that stuff is hardwired into the bill. What they're arguing about now is stuff around the edges of that. I've been briefed on the difference between the Senate and the House language on this matter, and the differences are incredibly small. And so I don't expect.
They're incredibly small, like removing all the NFA stuff, removing the cuts to Medicare, removing the border security stuff, removing anything that they don't want like added to the thing. So that is I don't know.
That there's going to be any issue there at all. Oh, of course, everybody's speaking to everybody right now and listening to their concerns. And in the end,
No,
we
they're not.
respect the legislative process. The senators are working towards a successful completion of this bill over the next couple of days. We're highly confident that they're going to pass this bill. And
They're going to pass it, but they're going to pass it with everything removed that they don't want in it.
We're going to get something to the House by the weekend that the House will be able to pass right away as well. And so we're as optimistic as we could possibly be. And we're also still listening to people who are asking about changes that we can make around the edges, because we want this bill to be big and beautiful and successful.
If you cut out all of the stuff, then it's no longer big and beautiful. It is a botched liposurgery bill.
What Americans need to know is that this bill is reducing taxes on everybody, especially middle-class people. The 90 million hourly workers in America that sometimes get overtime are not going to be taxed on the overtime.
That'd be
nice.
nice.
People who work so hard for tips are not going to be taxed on those tips. The people who want to get a little extra money after they retire and get their Social Security are not going to see the high tax that they currently see if they go back to work and make a little extra money. And so this is a great, great bill that's putting lots of money in people's pockets and increasing economic growth as well. In the end, the new report out from the Council of Economic Advisors tells us that the typical American family is going to make $10,000. They're going to have $10,000 higher after-tax income because of this bill. And $10,000, that's a lot of money. And it's because we can fix policy. We did it before. We're doing it again. People saw more than $6,000 increase last time we did this, and this time it's going to be 10, and you should believe it. You should bank on it.
Yeah, see, we were doing fine up until the last regime came in. Then we had to sell a house. We had to go back to renting. We had to do all of this stuff. And because, yeah. I won't go into details. Just know that it is crazy. I don't know. So that's the view from the other side. It's not. Oh, the language is not that far apart. We're going to get them over. While if you actually watch the stuff, it is purging 90% of the stuff.